Somewhere beneath the surface, in the twilight zone where sunlight dies and shadows reign, there exists a creature so impossible, so utterly mind-bending, that it seems to have been designed by something other than nature itself. The cuttlefish, a living paradox that has haunted the seas for over 30 million years. This is no simple sea creature. It is a shapeshifter, a deceiver, a master of illusion so profound that reality itself bends around it. With skin that transforms faster than thought, a brain shaped like a donut wrapped around its throat, and 3 hearts pumping blue blood through copper-laced veins, the cuttlefish exists at the edge of what we consider possible. It can speak 2 languages simultaneously, one on each side of its body. It can hypnotize prey with pulsing waves of color. Some possess venom. Others grow to nearly a meter in length, weighing as much as a small dog. And here's the twist that will haunt you. They might dream. In those brief moments of sleep, their skin erupts in chaotic patterns, colors flickering across their bodies like a broken television. Signal from another dimension. No one knows what plays out behind those alien W-shaped eyes, but you're about to descend into their world, to understand a creature that rewrites the rules of survival with every breath, every heartbeat, every impossible transformation. The cuttlefish's mastery of deception goes beyond anything you can imagine. This isn't just camouflage. It's a complete reconstruction of reality. In 200 milliseconds, faster than you can blink, a cuttlefish can shift from smooth, delicate skin into a landscape of bumps and ridges that perfectly match the coral reef around it. From vibrant zebra stripes to ghostly transparency, from female to male and back again, the transformation is so complete, so devastatingly perfect, that it becomes invisible not just to predators, but to reality itself. And it does this while being completely, utterly colorblind. Think about that for a moment. A creature that cannot see color becomes color. It doesn't need to see the rainbow to become the rainbow. Embedded in its skin are thousands upon thousands of pigment cells called chromatophores, each one a tiny balloon filled with red, yellow, or brown pigment. Beneath them lie iridophores that bend light into shimmering blues and greens, and leucophores that reflect pure, ghostly white. 3 layers of biological sorcery, all controlled by a nervous system so sophisticated it makes our own look primitive. The cuttlefish doesn't decide to change color the way you decide to put on a jacket. The transformation is neurological, instantaneous, involuntary. Its skin thinks for itself. But here's where it gets truly unsettling. A cuttlefish can display 2 completely different messages on opposite sides of its body at the exact same moment. Picture this scene documented in the waters off Australia. A large male cuttlefish spots a female and wants to mate. But there's competition, another male nearby, bigger, more aggressive. So what does our cunning cuttlefish do? On the side facing his rival, he projects bold, aggressive zebra stripes, a warning that screams territorial dominance, back off, or face the consequences. But on the opposite side, the side facing the female, he displays soft, mottled patterns, gentle courtship colors that whisper romance and promise. He is 2 creatures at once, warrior and lover, threat and suitor, split down the middle like a biological magic trick. And it works. The rival sees aggression and keeps his distance. The female sees attraction and moves closer. The cuttlefish has rewritten the rules of communication, speaking 2 languages simultaneously, telling 2 stories with one body. And what about the smaller males, the ones who can't intimidate rivals with size or bold patterns? They've evolved something even more devious. These little tricksters round out their body shape, adopt the soft dappled colors of a female, tuck in their arms, and essentially cross-dress their way past the larger males. They sidle up to females right under the nose of their massive competitors, completely undetected. It's not just survival, it's theater, it's espionage, it's a level of strategic deception that rivals anything in the animal kingdom. The cuttlefish doesn't fight fair because fairness is a luxury it cannot afford in the brutal economy of the ocean. To truly understand the alien nature of the cuttlefish, we must peer into its grotesque, beautiful nervous system. The cuttlefish brain is shaped like a donut, wrapped eerily around its esophagus, its throat, the very passage through which food must travel. Imagine swallowing every meal through your own brain. This is the cuttlefish's reality, and this brain, despite the creature's relatively short lifespan of 1 to 2 years, is massive. The cuttlefish possesses the largest brain-to-body ratio of any invertebrate on Earth, larger than insects, larger than crustaceans. In the kingdom of spineless creatures, the cuttlefish is an intellectual giant. Scientists have watched cuttlefish solve puzzles, navigate mazes, demonstrate memory, and exhibit what can only be described as curiosity. They learn, they remember, they plan. This is not a mindless mollusk drifting through the currents. This is a thinking, calculating predator with an agenda. But the brain is only part of the story. The cuttlefish, like its octopus cousin, has distributed intelligence. While most of its neurons reside in that donut-shaped brain, many others are scattered throughout its 8 arms and 2 specialized feeding tentacles. These tentacles, longer than the arms and tipped with clubs lined with denticulated suckers, tiny tooth-like structures designed for gripping, operate with a degree of autonomy that borders on the supernatural. When a cuttlefish hunts, it doesn't simply grab. It strikes. Those 2 feeding tentacles, normally tucked away and hidden, shoot out with explosive speed, faster than most prey can react, and seize fish, shrimp, crabs, worms, even other cuttlefish. The tentacles know what to do. They feel, they grip, they secure, and they do it with a precision that suggests intelligence far beyond simple reflex. Watch a cuttlefish stalk its prey, and you witness something deeply unsettling. It hovers, motionless, its 8 arms spread like the petals of some carnivorous flower. Its skin ripples with subtle waves of color, hypnotic patterns that seem to mesmerize the small fish drifting nearby. The prey doesn't flee. It doesn't recognize the danger. It's transfixed, locked in a trance induced by those pulsing colors, and then, in a fraction of a second, those feeding tentacles explode forward, seize the fish, and retract. The kill is instant. The fish never had a chance. This is not luck. This is calculated predation, psychological warfare waged through color and pattern, a hunt that begins in the mind before it ends in the mouth. Then there are the hearts, 3 of them. 2 smaller hearts pump blood to the gills, extracting precious oxygen from the water. The 3rd, larger heart circulates that blood throughout the body. But this is not the red, iron-rich blood of mammals. This is blue blood colored by hemocyanin, a copper-based protein that carries oxygen through the cuttlefish's veins. In the cold, low-oxygen depths where cuttlefish sometimes venture, copper is more efficient than iron. It's an evolutionary adaptation that turns the creature's circulatory system into something out of science fiction. Cut open a cuttlefish and you won't see red. You'll see blue, the color of alien royalty flowing through an alien body. And inside that body, hidden beneath the skin and muscle, lies one of nature's most elegant engineering solutions. The cuttle bone, not a true bone at all, but a chambered internal shell, a marvel of biological architecture. This porous, calcified structure is filled with gas-filled chambers that the cuttlefish can flood or drain with fluid, adjusting its buoyancy with precision. It's a submarine ballast system, allowing the creature to hover motionless in the water column, to rise without effort, to sink without struggle. The cuttlebone is what separates the cuttlefish from its squid cousins, who must swim constantly to stay aloft. The cuttlefish simply is, suspended in perfect equilibrium, a ghost hanging in the blue. And then there are those eyes, W-shaped pupils, bizarre and unsettling, unlike anything else in the ocean. These pupils are thought to help control the intensity of light entering the eye, crucial for a creature that moves between sunlit shallows and darker depths. But here's the nightmare. Those eyes can see polarized light, a spectrum invisible to us. The cuttlefish perceives a hidden dimension of reality, patterns and contrasts we cannot even imagine. It sees the world in a language we will never speak, detects threats and opportunities through senses we do not possess. It is always watching, always calculating, always aware in ways that make us look blind. The cuttlefish is a fierce, relentless predator. In UK waters, the common cuttlefish reigns as the largest of its kind, a hunter that makes light work of crabs, fish, and even smaller cuttlefish. It is cannibalistic when necessary, devouring its own kind without hesitation. Survival is not sentimental. During spring, when the urge to breed becomes overwhelming, cuttlefish migrate to shallow waters, congregating in numbers that transform the seafloor into a theater of courtship and combat. Males battle for access to females, flashing aggressive displays, grappling with tentacles, wrestling for dominance. The stakes are existential because cuttlefish typically live for only 1 to 2 years. They get one chance at this, one season to pass on their genes before time runs out. When mating is complete, the female lays eggs, hundreds of them, each one carefully attached to rocks or coral, but before she releases them into the world, she does something extraordinary. She coats each egg in her own ink, dyeing them black, transforming them into what looks like clusters of dark grapes. These sea grapes, as they're called, hang in the water like ominous fruit, camouflaged against predators, protected by the very substance the cuttlefish uses to escape danger. The ink stored in a specialized sac can be released as a smokescreen, a cloud of brown confusion that disorients attackers and allows the cuttlefish to vanish. But here, it serves a different purpose. It becomes armor for the next generation, a final act of protection before the parents die. Because that's the brutal truth of cuttlefish life. After breeding, they die, not slowly, not peacefully. Their bodies simply give out, consumed by the effort of reproduction. The female, exhausted from laying hundreds of eggs, weakens and fades. The male, worn down by competition and mating, follows soon after. The ocean floor becomes a graveyard, but from those ink-stained eggs, new life emerges. Tiny cuttlefish, perfect miniatures of their parents, hatch into a world that will demand everything from them: speed, intelligence, deception, and sacrifice. They are born knowing how to hunt, how to hide, how to survive. The knowledge is genetic, hardwired into their distributed brains, passed down through millions of years of evolution. And here's the revelation that will leave you sleepless. Researchers studying European cuttlefish in laboratory settings have observed something deeply strange during the creature's sleep-like states. Short periods lasting only seconds, where the cuttlefish's skin erupts in erratic color changes and body patterns. The eyes move irregularly beneath closed lids. The arms twitch. The behavior is not triggered by any external stimulus. It occurs only during inactive periods that resemble sleep, never when the cuttlefish is awake or simply resting. The scientists watch these episodes unfold, documenting the chaos, the randomness, the sheer alien weirdness of it all. And then they ask the question that haunts everyone who studies these creatures: do cuttlefish dream? No one knows. We have no way to peer into that donut-shaped brain and decode the signals firing through those neurons. We cannot ask a cuttlefish what it experiences in those flickering moments of sleep. But the evidence suggests something is happening, something internal, something that resembles the REM sleep of mammals, the stage where dreams occur. If cuttlefish dream, what do they dream about? Do they replay the hunt, the colors shifting across coral, the sudden strike of tentacles? Do they rehearse courtship displays, practicing the patterns that will seduce or intimidate? Or do they experience something entirely beyond our comprehension? A dream language built on polarized light and neurological color, a narrative told in sensations we will never feel. The possibility alone is enough, to redefine what we think we know about consciousness, about minds that are nothing like ours, yet still somehow thinking, still somehow aware, still somehow dreaming. The cuttlefish is not just an animal, it is a living argument against everything we assume about intelligence, about perception, about the nature of life itself. It is a creature that has survived for millions of years by becoming a master of transformation, a deceiver, a thinker, a dreamer. It thrives in depths where oxygen is scarce, where predators are many, where every day is a fight for survival. And it does so with 3 hearts, blue blood, W-shaped eyes, and a brain that wraps around its throat like a grotesque biological puzzle. It speaks with its skin, hunts with autonomous tentacles, and dies after a single season of reproduction, leaving behind a new generation to carry on the cycle. It might dream. It might possess a form of consciousness we cannot measure or understand. It exudes STS at the intersection of the known and the unknowable, a creature so alien that encountering one feels less like observing nature and more like making first contact with another form of intelligence entirely. As you surface from the depths of this story, as the pressure eases and light returns, you're left with a single, inescapable truth. The cuttlefish is still down there, shape-shifting through the blue, speaking two languages at once, dreaming dreams we cannot fathom, living a life that challenges every assumption we've ever made about what it means to be alive, to think, to survive. The ocean still holds countless mysteries, and the cuttlefish, with its copper blood and distributed mind, is one of the strangest, most beautiful enigmas of all. The ancient Greeks and Romans knew this creature well, prizing it for the unique brown pigment it releases when alarmed. They called it sepia, a word that survives today as the name for that reddish-brown color we associate with old photographs and the passage of time. The same ink a cuttlefish uses to vanish became the medium through which humans recorded history. If this journey into the alien world of the cuttlefish made you see the ocean differently, share your thoughts below. Leave a like and subscribe to continue exploring Earth's most extraordinary creatures. The deep is waiting. Let's uncover it together.